Good boy, you're going out for a wee. I love listening to birds in the morning. It's a hazy start to the day, but it smells beautiful. Good morning, Jay.
Whereabouts? Oh, cheers.
Here's your brew. So today I'm going to try and show you how I make my garlic salt out of foraged wild garlic. It's a bit of a rainy day, so there's not a lot that we can be doing outside. You might be able to hear that actually, it might have picked up on camera, but it's absolutely lashing it down. Anyway, I've got my brew and I've got everything that I think I might need. So I'm just gonna try and get started. First I'm gonna wash a jar. These jars have already been washed and sterilised, but I still like to give them a proper good rinse before I use them again. And make sure you've got no old jam residue or out in your jars, and that they're cleaned thoroughly, because otherwise your garlic salt is going to go manky. Next we've got is wild garlic. Smells good, and a colander just to wash it in. Just get a good rinse in cold water. And I've got one of these to dry it. It's a bit old and discoloured and battered, but it does job. And you just stick your veg in there, whiz it round, wet lid on, like that. Oh, not like that. You put your lid, it does work. You put your lid on, and you whiz it round, and it dries the veg for you instead of having to blot it. So I'm going to do that now. Only a bit at a time though, you can't fill it right up. Probably enough. What is it? There we go, dry as a bone. Not quite, but we'll see how much water we get off it, shall we? See if it's worth doing or if it's just for shits and giggles. If no else, I think it might be fun for wild garlic, because it's like a fairground for your wild garlic. Oh, that was satisfying. Gee, this is right good. I'm drying wild garlic in this thing here and it's right good. Gee, doesn't seem bothered. Right, moment of truth. Let's see if it actually didn't get it. Got fuck all. Look at that. Well, it was fun. So, as wild garlic still piss wet through because that thing were more for fun than all else. Get a good blot. Shake your leaves a bit like that. Just shake them. And then another blot. There you go, look. Sorted, they're dry enough. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take stems off my wild garlic because they're a bit too chunky. Got my brew, I'm going to have a bit of brew. Right, nice brew. Do you like my cup? In fact, what I'm drinking, which I will recommend because it's right nice, is this. Right refreshing. Now to de-stem some garlic. For consistency, I feel like I've got to tell you I've had to take my jacket off because I was getting a bit of a dab on. It's warm. Bleeding hell, sticking together. It's because I dried them so efficiently. It smells really nice when you're chopping it. It really releases all the stench. Stems. So next what you need to do is you need to take your wild garlic and you need to bash it in a blender and blend it all up to like a mosh, like a pesto consistency. So let's do that now. And this is going to make your house absolutely stink like wild garlic. Which I suppose could be a good or a bad thing. And you don't need to put lid on, you just keep pushing it down with your fingers as you're pressing the on button. I'm only joking, definitely don't do that. Always put the lid on and don't touch the blades with your fingers at all. If you like your fingertips. Right, let's see how this goes. I'm just going to poke it round a bit. It gets stuck to its sides, so you might just need to poke it closer to the blades and then give it another blast. It smells so good though. Oh, smell my fingers. Next, take your coarse sea salt. I've got, how much have I got? I don't even know how much I've got. I think there's about 100 grams. Here we go, there's 350 grams of this. I'm going to pour about half of this into here and then module all that together. You can measure if you're bothered about accuracy. I, however, am not. And that's about half. Put your lid back on. I've just bashed a little bit more in. On to the next step. So your next step is emptying all this blended garlic and salt into a bowl and then adding the remainder of the salt and giving it a nice good stir. So let's crack on with that. Love the smell. Let's just start principle, I need that last bit. So now, as you can see, it's all stirred in together and it actually looks really nice because you can see it glistening. It's lovely emerald colour. And now that we've got it all modged up, looking lovely in his bowl, his next step would be to get, why can't I say this bit right? His next step is to get an oven tray and line it with parchment paper. Here's one I prepared earlier. And now all we've got to do is lather all of that onto this, ready to put in oven. try and pat it out as thin and as evenly as you can. That's just so that it dries quicker. Waste not, want not. And there you have it, ready to go in your oven. So I've preheated my oven to 80 degrees C. I'm just gonna bash it in there for a couple of hours just to dry, and then that's it. Once I take it out, it should be done. So let's pop that in the oven. Here we go. It's going in. So that's it, it's in the oven. Leave that a couple of hours and then we will come back, see that it's dried fully, and then we'll put it into the jars and I'll show you that. Right, so now that's in, let's go and see what Jay's doing.
That's better. Hiya everyone. So today I'm going to be building a bird box and show you how I do it. So let's get started. So I've got here a planed piece of poplar wood from a poplar tree. And that's what I'm going to be using to build the bird box. Obviously it's not treated. It's been in my shed, God, ages. Years. So I made a prototype and marked on it all the dimensions for the sides, the back, the base, even how low the hole goes. And then depending on what size hole you choose is what type of bird you'll get living in your house. So I'm going to use this as reference to mark out all my angles and the lengths that I need for this piece of wood. I've straightened up this edge with the miter saw, and now I'm going to do the base first, and the base is 160 mil. So I'm just going to cut this with my miter saw. So that's the base. Now to do the back. So the back is 300 millimeters. Excuse the mess in the garage. I tidy it, and then within a week it gets like this, and then I tidy it again. But one thing that I do like doing is when I get home from work, if my mind's all scrambled from work, for some reason when I come into my garage and it's a mess like this, once I've cleaned it, it's like it cleans my mind. I don't know if you guys have ever done something similar, but yeah, no wonder my mind's scrambled with all this mess. I need to clean my garage. Right, what are I doing? Back. 300 mil. What's great about a bird box like this, because it's rustic, you don't have to be accurate, and it still looks really nice. So that's the back. Let's do the sides. So on the sides, you got 250 mil up there, 200 mil up there, and an 18 mil diagonal for the rain to fall off it. Could have a brew. Not sponsored by them, but let me show you this. this is my little hot plate, what we got off Amazon. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description. But yeah, you can choose ceramic, glass or metal. You can choose the temperature, and it just keeps your mug of coffee or tea or whatever warm while you're outside in garage. It's quality. I mean, look at that. That's the money shot. That cup's been there about 20 minutes now. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to cut a nice rectangle 250mm rectangle piece of wood. Measure 200mm on one side, then cut from the top of there down that way, which will give you an 18-degree angle, I think. Is that how I did it? It's been a long time. So 250mm. We want 2 of them. You know, I've just thought, I've been telling you the lengths and I've not told you the widths. Where did I put my, let's see. So, the width is 150mm. All around sides, roof, base, all 150mm. Told you it's been a long time. I've just figured out what that 18-degree angle is. I'll show you. 2 at a time, baby, yeah. Now it's a case of measuring 200. There we go. And what you want to do is go straight from corner to that 200 mark. Instead of messing about turning my miter saw around, I'm just going to put it on an angle, cut it in the straight position. Like I say, this is not a how-to video, this is just the way that I'm doing it. You could also do this with a hand saw, you don't need a miter saw. It's probably better if you did do it with a hand saw. There's something about building something with your own hands. That feeling of the final product. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to cut this wood. Make sure it's nice and straight. Hands out of the way. And there you have 2 sides. 200mm, 150mm, 250mm. Now let's do the roof part. So this is a 200mm in length. So it just sticks out over the top so rain can just drop off. The 18-degree angle is for where it meets up to the back. So we just cut this part at 18 degrees and it sits nice and flush like that, hopefully. 200. You don't really need to use one of these because when you've got a laser sight on your miter saw, just thought I'd show you if you were just using an hand saw as well. And obviously we want to cut this down to, that's right, 150mm. So now you've cut the wood for the roof, we need to put that 18-degree angle in. This is where a miter saw comes in really handy. I mean, you can do it with a hand saw and a miter block, but yeah, let me show you how easy it is on a miter saw. So on a miter saw, obviously you just undo that, and then you've got degrees just there, and we want 18 degrees. So in the case of tilting it over, to 18 degrees. Tighten it up. Bish bash bosh. So what you want to do, because you can't see that laser, I'm going to look at it from this angle and put it right on the edge there. So if you can see this front bit here, it basically on the other side of there looks like that, and I've gone right to the edge on that to keep as much length as the wood as possible. Still piping out. So we've got the base, the back, the sides, the roof. Now we just need the front, and that's 220mm. Reset this back up to vertical. Was there 220? Lovely jubbly. Oh, make sure it's nice and straight. Cue the music. So once you've got your front, you also need to put an 18-degree angle cut in the top of it where the roof sits onto the front. That should be all the cutting, hopefully. Now we just need to drill the hole for what bird. We'll go for a blue tip, and I like tits. So once you've got your 25mm bit, pop it in your drill. Make sure the cut piece is at the top, and you want to measure down. What do you want to measure down? 2.5 inch. And about there. And you want the centre of that. You all know what the centre of 150mm is? 75. Place some wood so you don't go through into your lovely workbench. Drill your hole. You can tell this wood's been in my shed a long time, it's warped. Like I say, I'm going for the rustic look. So I'm going to put 2 pilot holes in there and put 2 screws in to hold the sides in place. I know I'm not going to be putting any joiners to shame. This is how I do it. Like a glove. Let's do the other side. So I'm just using 30mm screws. Let's put the back on. We flip it upside down. This should protrude a little bit further than the top. Make sure everything's flush on the sides. If you're using green wood like me, it will have warped a bit, but that's okay. Oop. Lovely jubbly, she's coming on now. Now I need to do the front. Oh, I'm gonna have to squeeze this together, it's warped like crazy. So what I've just done off camera is just tacked it in place so it makes it easier to screw it in. But if I'm honest, I'm just gonna leave them tacks in. I mean, it's strong enough, it's not coming off. I just use a nail gun and Really like that. I don't think it needs any screws. I've gone ahead and attached some plastic to the roof and the back, so when it rains it can just run off easier and not get behind that 18-degree angle. And then I've already pilot drilled my holes, so now I can just screw in the hooks. If you haven't seen that video that me and Laura hang a bird box on the Living Almanac walk, I'll put a link to it just here. But basically what we do, just feed some stainless steel wire through some irrigation tubing and wrap it around the tree so the tree can still grow over the years and it doesn't cut into it. But anyway, there she is, sports fans. And what I've also done as well is put a little pilot hole in there, because I can just pop a screw in there to keep it all nice and tight, so this can't come up. But after a couple of years and there's been birds in it, obviously there's going to be nests and everything inside of here. So what we could do, instead of completely replacing the bird box, is just take a screwdriver, boom, clean it out. Ready for another couple of years. That was quite difficult to film that with all different angles, but I hope you appreciated all the effort I've gone to show you how I made the bird box. Kind of turned out to be more of like a how-to video. Yeah, well, I hope you've enjoyed. Give me a thumbs up if you have. So I've got quite a few bird boxes made. No, I haven't. Not in here. Oh yeah, I have. So I made one with this little bit. What I did, I just basically cut a little dowel out, and then before I put the front on, I nailed the dowel from the other side. Anyway, it's supposed to be like a little perch. I mean, it looks nicer, but upon research, they say that might allow predators to come, bigger birds to come, perch on there, stick their head in that hole and attack the little babies. That's what I've read. Don't forget, if you do build one of these, put some drainage holes in the bottom. Forgot to show you that bit. Yeah, another two to hang up in our back garden or on one of those walks. So that's it, I hope you enjoyed. Let's go and see what Laura's doing.
Right, so my oven's just beeped. I'm gonna get it out of oven and then we'll see what it's looking like. Smells right nice. It's looking good. Yeah, I think that's it. It is, yeah. All dry. So what we're going to do now is break it up and put it in this bowl. You could crush it up in a pestle and mortar, but the reason I'm doing it just using my hands is because I do want to try and keep the coarse sea salt quite coarse. I don't want to grind it down to a powder, which is what you would get if you were using your pestle and mortar. So I'm just going to crumble it into this bowl using my fingers, and then from this bowl I will put it into the jar And then that's it, job done. I've got green fingers. Can you see that? Right, so we'll use this jar and we'll try and get it in there without making a mess. So what we're going to do to make sure that we don't make an entire mess, use a folded sheet of paper and pour it on there. We'll just put the last bit in this little jar. That's it, job done. You've got your garlic salt. And because it's salt, it'll keep for a good while, so you can enjoy the taste of spring for a long time to come.
You coming up.
You coming up then, baby?
You coming up. Come on then.
Is sausage coming up?
Coming up.
Goodbye. Oh, we didn't need that pillar anyway.
Didn't need that pillar, did we, kid? Good boy. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching this one.
Yeah, thank you if you've stuck with us this far.
Oh, and thank you to his 200 plus subscribers that we've got. Thank you ever so much.
We appreciate every single one of you.
I'm glad you're enjoying them. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on this video if you like his slow living videos. Hope you've learned something.
Actually, I feel like this might be a perfect time to just remind everybody that we do have our YouTube collective, Awen Voices Network. It's basically just a collective of like-minded people who also have YouTube channels. So if you're a practicing Druid or practice a Druid adjacent path and you're interested in joining us, all details are down below in description and we'd love to have you on board.
We would. So yeah, thanks again. Hope you've enjoyed.
See you next time.
Stay tuned. 200 subscribers! Seg says thank you too.